And welcome back, Cody's Caravan. We are in Auburn today at my friend Jody's house. It's a pie recipe that is so good, some say it's ludicrous. That's Jody and Ludicrous right there. Look at that. We established that Ludicrous comes up to your shoulder.
Yes.
He's a very short man.
He's a very short man. I had to kind of squat down to get a picture with him. Sorry, Luda.
I would not have guessed that.
Okay, so let's talk about this recipe and the history of this recipe. You were going to culinary school.
Right. I was going to culinary school, and my aunt had my great-great-grandma's cookbook, and I asked her if I could borrow it. And she said yes. I have yet to give it back. So I've been going through and testing all the recipes, and the first one I tested was this honey pumpkin pie recipe, and everybody loved it. So it's been a hit ever since.
So good. Here's the actual unpublished cookbook that she was working on.
Right, unpublished. So everything's laid out in there like it's ready to go. There's a preface, there's little poems and baking tips in there. I'm just going through and making sure the measurements are correct.
Besides that recipe, there's a cookie recipe in there that sounds fantastic.
Yes, they're called Berliner Kranzers. If you get those little metal tins that end up being like sewing kits, there's one that looks like a little pretzel with crushed sugar on top. It's called a Berliner Kranzer, and it uses cooked egg yolks to make the dough.
Huh.
Yeah, really weird.
That is such a find.
Yeah.
Okay, so one day you're going to publish this.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. I'd love to see it published.
I think you got it. I think you got it.
I hope so.
I think it's fantastic. Okay, so let's tell the folks at home, what's the ingredients that we'll be using today?
So we use 1.5 cups of pumpkin puree. I used fresh. You can use canned, but make sure it's pumpkin puree. A half a cup of honey, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, a half a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, and 1 cup evaporated milk.
And the key ingredients is honey.
Is honey.
There's no sugar in it.
There's no sugar.
Yeah.
The only sweetness is coming from the honey and the pumpkin itself.
I think it is an amazing recipe. I absolutely love it. Okay, coming up next hour, what we're going to do is we're going to put it together. We'll put it in the oven, and then we'll go around Jody's house because she has more hobbies than even Tina Makua. Maybe by 2. But that's it. It's close.
That's a lot of hobbies.
But she's got so many hobbies,
Yeah.
including Krampus. You love Krampus.
I love Krampus.
She loves Krampus. So we'll check out the Krampus tree coming up. And we'll show you the rest of the recipe and how it works out. Back to you guys.
Well, we'll get her into pickleball, and then, she and Tina will be neck and neck both on the court and in their hobbies. Thank you, Code. Appreciate it. All right, he has searched far and wide, and Cody is now ready to deliver the best pumpkin pie recipe that you will ever see. You'll definitely want it for Thanksgiving. Cody's checking back with us. He is in Auburn, where they're ready to start baking this pie. Hey, Cody.
That's right. It is time, Jody, to do some work. Time to do some work. Okay, once again, the ingredients are
1.5 cups of pumpkin puree. You can use fresh or canned, but make sure it says pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie mix. And then you're going to put a half a cup of honey. Honey.
Once again, there's no sugar in this honey.
Yeah.
It's just honey.
Just honey. That's
Which
good.
gives it just such a unique flavor with the pumpkins.
Yeah. And then we're going to do a half a teaspoon of salt.
Okay. It's amazing how simple this recipe really is.
That's good enough. And then a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. That's good enough.
Now, when you came across this from your great-great-great-grandmother, 1893, this recipe,
1893.
did you think, well, this sounds delicious? It sounds a little weird. Yeah.
It sounded interesting because I'd never seen a pumpkin pie made with honey before, and then so little spice.
Yeah.
Like, there's usually like clove and nutmeg and all that stuff.
How much vanilla extract?
Half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you want to mix this all up first before adding the other ingredients, or else, do you remember that word I told you?
No, I don't. Please share that terminology with me.
Cinnamon is a bit hydrophobic, so it doesn't like liquid. It doesn't like mixing with water, so you got to mix it in the first batch, otherwise it clumps up and won't mix together properly.
Hydrophobic.
Hydrophobic. Then, once that's all mixed, you add 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
And then 1 cup of evaporated milk. Look at that milk.
Mm-mm.
So mix that all
Mix
together.
it all together. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
All done.
It's so simple.
Yep. Mix it all together, then we'll pour it in the unbaked pie crust.
So you and I have known each other, I'm thinking a good decade now, right? 10 years?
I'd
10
say
years?
about 10 years.
How many pies do you think you've given me over the years?
Ooh, probably 8.
I'd say it's more than that.
8 more.
I always come and load up on your pies. Okay, so we're going to pour it into the pie crust.
Pour it into the pie crust. That's good. And then we pop it in the oven for about 40 to 45 minutes.
40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so we've timed this out perfectly for the show, so we'll have a pie done in our next hit, and then we'll eat said pie.
In word of advice, your oven loses about 25% of the heat every time you open it up. So don't open it until about 40 minutes or else your pie might split.
I did not know that.
Baking tip for you.
Oh my goodness, that is, I feel like I've gone through the cabinet into Narnia. I did not know that. 25%, that totally makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
So when people are checking
Checking
constantly,
it blows cold air over the top of the pie and it makes it go.
how about
Wow.
that? I don't know. The more you know. All right, we'll show you the finished pie, and then, we'll have to eat some because, it'd be rude not to. That's all coming up. Back to you guys.
Cody, we all just went, oh, really? Because you always think, oh, one peak's
and
not gonna
as an
matter.
added, yeah, exactly. And as an added bonus, John, you know this. Jody is one of the most fascinating people on the face of the earth. We'll show you some of her collections, including a Krampus collection that is spectacular and terrifying at the same time. Everything the holiday should be.
they have a freeze frame of your face when she dropped the oven door knowledge on us.
That was brilliant, Jody.
Hey,
I
Cody.
learned something today. I don't ever learn anything in this show.
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
It's very rare. Where would you like to take the caravan next?
Oh my goodness, I'm looking for people. I've got this thing in my head. I'm looking for people that have some sort of knowledge that is going to go away. Like when they retire and they're done, like they do something very specific, and it's been going on for a long time. But once they retire, they're afraid that this knowledge is not going to be around anymore. If you're somebody like that, or if you know somebody like that, let me know. goodday@kmaxtv.com. Kind of like this recipe, 1893.
That is good stuff. Thank you, Cody. And tell Jody I said hi, too.
I will.
All right, thank
You
you,
want a pie, don't you? You do.
Thank you, Code.
Okay, the ingredients have been mixed. The pie is in the oven.
But we did not open the door to check it
No.
because that lets out too much heat. But we are going to open the door to check in with Cody, who is ready, fork in hand. That looks like a
John wants me
microphone.
to check it real quick. Is that okay?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay, fine. We still
Don't
got some
get us in
time
trouble.
in the oven. So, I know, don't get us in trouble. So here's the fun thing. When you come over to Jody's house, she has all sorts of collections. Would you guys like to see some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes. Come on, Jody, let's go look at some of the collections. Okay, so you're into photography.
Right.
You're into Krampus.
Correct.
But you're also into crystals.
Yeah, I collect crystals. I don't know. I just always liked them. It started out with this big 40-pound fluorite that my great aunt found in Arizona.
40 pounds.
40 pounds.
That's really rare.
Yeah. And it's big. I mean, it's heavy. It's really heavy.
I would pick it up to demonstrate, but no, we're not going to do that. Now, what are these up here?
These are all quartz, different types of quartz. There's needle quartz, smoky quartz. This is called sugar quartz. And that's kind of iron stained quartz, clear quartz. And this one's in hydro quartz. There's little pockets of water and bubbles in there.
Oh, interesting. But that's not all. Come on, we get more quartz and crystals over here. So we come up to the front, and you can see all of these. What is the deal with these things?
Oh, I just like them. Just different types of crystals and mineral collection, fossils. I've got quite a big kind of section of fossils. But there's just lots of different types of crystals over here.
Including this thing. What is this?
That is called a pyrite sun.
And you see when you move it around,
Yeah.
it just changes.
Or a
It's
pirate
so-
pancake.
Pirate pancake. Delicious. Just a little like. I think it's so neat. It's so neat. There's the Krampus over here. We're going to save the Krampus, though. We're going to show you our Krampus stuff because it's terrifying, and that's what the holidays is all about. Jody, I think it's time for the pie. I think it's time for the pie. Through the magic of television, we have a pie ready to go. Our other pie is about 14 minutes left.
Yeah, about 14 minutes left. But hey, look at this. There's one already done.
Look at that. She's a beauty. She is a beauty.
She is.
Look at that. So
Look
it takes
how
about
pretty that
40
crust
to
is.
45 minutes.
Yeah, about 40 to 45 minutes. You want to check it probably about 40 minutes and do the little jiggle to see if the center part is set.
The jiggle?
The jiggle.
Yeah.
Let's give it a jiggle.
That's what I like to do on Thanksgiving. I jiggle a little bit.
I
should
typically
we
jiggle
to
after
slice it?
Thanksgiving
Oh,
dinner.
yeah.
We're going to slice it up here.
Around.
Just to show people, you know, it's not that I want to eat it. It's just that we need to show people. Couple forks. Look at this.
Wow, that's a
I am
big
telling you,
knife.
this is my absolute favorite
It's like a
pie.
movie knife.
I'm not good at knife,
Yeah, it's not a knife.
especially when I'm on
It is a
the spot.
knife.
Yeah, that's a knife.
Look at how nicely it cuts, though. Like it didn't
right, let's
crack
see if
on
I can
top
get
like
that
she
one.
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Because she kept the
Yeah.
oven closed.
Yep.
Probably.
All you oven openers out there with your cracked pies.
Sorry.
From now
That's
on,
okay.
every time we see a cracked pie, we're going to be like,
delicious.
you opened the oven, didn't you?
Yeah. You open ovener? Or oven opener?
This will be my piece.
Well, Cody, I think you're just gonna have to eat the whole pie right out of the pan.
Yeah, you know what? If I have to just take a fork and start biting into it, I'm fine with
go for
it.
it.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
You know what? No, let's not do that. We'll show you the pie when we show you the Krampus stuff.
Okay.
Little sweetness to go with the creepiness that is Krampus.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right.
All right, that's coming up. Stick around. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Code.